Welcome back to Breaking the NFL with Mickey G. As always, it is me, your host, Mickey G. And, this time I'm going to actually start with how I did the previous week, because I think that makes sense. I went 9-5, so not my best, but, we're still staying above 500. I'm now 91-57 overall. In the three special games, I was 3-0, so kind of the best there. The game of the week, which wasn't much of a game of the week, was the Steelers Panthers, in which the Steelers won 52-21. Absolutely demolished the Panthers, and it just sad. I mean, the only player for the Panthers really did anything was Christian McCaffrey, so good for him. Then the upset, which it wasn't really that much of an upset, was the Packers 31, Dolphins 12. Packers, they're just much better. So that was easy to pick. And the Crap Fest was brought down to the wire. It was picked by Eli Manning on a game-winning drive. Who would have thought? The man, the myth, the legend himself, actually performing productively. Crazy. The first game besides the special ones, which now takes my total for each of those: 6-4 in the game of the week, 5-5 in the upset, and 7-3 in the Crap Fest. It takes me to the other games. The first game is the stupidest game of the week. Jaguars losing to the Colts. Jaguars, they played a decent game. Bortles had a pretty good game, okay? And they're driving down, last drive, they're down by 3. All they need is a field goal. They're real close to the red zone. It's a 3rd and 1, maybe at like around the 30-yard line. Bortles throws a nice ball, gets about 7 or 8 yards. He catches it, and then he fumbles, and the Colts pick it up, and they start running, and the Jaguars lose the game. So, that was stupid. Why did they have to lose? They're playing the Colts. They freaking lost to the Colts. The Colts! Very frustrating. Very frustrating indeed. Then the next game after that is probably the best game this week. Your boy Matt Barkley? You heard of the man? Absolute beast, right? 41-10. Puts up 40 points. Okay? He plays for the Bills now. He put up 41 points. Yeah, there's a couple defensive field goals, such like that, sprinkled in there. Maybe a rush touchdown or two. But Matt Barkley led his team to a 30-point victory. Maybe they should have picked him up beforehand. Finally realized that Peterman's bad, so they dropped him. He's gonzo now. Probably should have made that decision a long time ago, but who am I to judge? And then we take it to the second stupidest game of the week. Now, this is the Patriots game for the week. Now, if they had played any team besides the Titans, it would have been a fantastic game. But it's the Titans that beat the Patriots. It's bad because their record gets better and the Jaguars gets worse. And that's basically it. It's just the Titans were the ones that beat them. Anyone else beat them. Bears, Lions, Redskins, Buccaneers, Rams, Seahawks, literally anyone else would have been fine with it. Anyone. Except for the Titans. Except for the Titans. I mean, it's nice to gloat a little bit and be like, the Patriots lost. But it was the Titans who beat them. So it's not helpful in any way, shape, or form. Now, I would like to point out that they did not have Gronk. And when the Jaguars play the Patriots, they shut down Gronk and won the game. So I think that wins a little better. So, I don't know. The next game is the Chargers-Raiders. Chargers destroyed the Raiders. The Saints, Bengals. Saints absolutely annihilated the Bengals. It was crazy. Then we have the Browns, who beat the Falcons by like 12 points, 28-16. Crazy. Where did this come from? I mean, granted, it is the second game. The Browns have played since their previous coach left or was fired. And the last one was against the Chiefs, so a little difficult game there. Then there was the Chiefs, Cardinals, and the Chiefs only won by 12 points there. That was crazy, too. The Bears absolutely annihilated the the Lions. So there's that. Cody Parkey, however, the kicker for the Bears, missed like 4 field goals. But the Lions are bad, so it didn't matter. The Redskins Tampa Bay was the most disappointing game because Fitzpatrick had 400 yards passing and 0 touchdowns, because that makes sense. And they only scored a field goal. That was it. That was all the Buccaneers got. And the Redskins, on the other hand, they got 16, which is just a stupid number. So, I don't know. The Rams were able to hold off the Seahawks by 5 points. So, Seahawks, good play there. The Cowboys beat the Eagles on Sunday night in a just disappointing game there. Eagles are they're acting like the Jaguars this year. Yeah, that's about it. Well, that's really all for the recap. Let's move on to the predictions. Well, our first game that we have is actually our upset of the week. The Titans have a habit of pretending they're good and beating a good team and then getting annihilated after that, or just not playing anywhere near what they did the previous week. And they're playing the Colts this week, coming off a big dub against the Jaguars here, where Andrew Luck showed that he's a great quarterback. So I believe that the Colts, they're like, hey, let's continue to do this. This is probably a good idea. And they beat the Titans. Next is the Bengals at the Ravens. Now, this game is difficult to pick because the Bengals are a confusing team because they have the second best record in the division. And I'm pretty sure they're in a wild card spot right now. And so if they lose games, or you expect them to win, or you're like, oh, they're playing well, so we're going to pick them. And then they win games that you're like, oh, they're not doing well, so we're going to pick them to lose. Very difficult team to pick. And the Ravens, their defense is good, but everything else is struggling against teams. They have like a 3 or 4 game losing streak. So I think I'm going to have to go with the Ravens here to stop sliding and get stuck in the mud and tackle someone. Next is the Broncos at Chargers. And Broncos are underperforming. They're getting close and then being unable to finish. And the Chargers have been rolling the past couple of weeks. So I think the Chargers are going to get this one here. Next is our Steelers-Jaguars game, and I'm not ready for this game at all. I'm not prepared. The Steelers have won like 5 straight, and the Jaguars have lost like 5 straight. It's very disappointing. So the goal here is for the Steelers to suck, Jaguars to play well. But this is not going to happen. They're not very likely to happen. So I feel like the Steelers are going to win this game, but Leonard's going to have like 8 touchdowns, so he can have the most rushing touchdowns at Heinz Field for the 2nd year in a row. Yeah. Next is the Texans at Redskins. The Texans are on like a 6-game win streak. They're hot. They're playing great. Redskins are so confusing. They're one of those teams you don't know what to pick, like I said before with the Bengals. So I think the Texans here, they're a better team, so they're gonna win. Next we have our crap fest of the week. We have the Raiders at the Cardinals. Both these teams suck. Josh Rosen's good. Cardinals win. Yeah. Game of the week is the Chiefs at the Rams. Now, this game was supposed to be in Mexico, but it has since been moved to Los Angeles because the field was just horrendous. Horrible. Okay? So the Chiefs, they've been playing really well. Okay? They had 1 loss to the Patriots. And so this is their second big test here. And I feel like the way they've been playing, they might have the advantage here. The Rams, their loss is more recent than mine. So they're still thinking about that a little bit. And they lost by a greater margin, while the Chiefs almost brought it back and ended up winning that game. So I feel like in the final waning moments, the Chiefs have a better chance. So I'm going to go with them winning this one here. Next is the Packers at the Seahawks. Now, the Seahawks, like I said before, they've been playing really well. And so I really like how they're playing right about now. And the Packers, they've played some bad teams or they've lost to good teams. And so if the Seahawks play like they did against the Rams for the most part, I think they can win this game. So good luck to you, Russ. Next is the Vikings at the Bears. The Vikings have Kirk Cousins. The Bears have a good defense and an inconsistent Mitch Trubisky. Okay? I like Kirk here. For the simple fact that I like Kirk, that's why I'm picking them. Vikings. The Cowboys at the Falcons. Falcons are underperforming. The Cowboys are underperforming. The Falcons just lost to the Browns, so I don't have much faith in them. And the Cowboys beat the Eagles. But I feel like the Falcons are definitely the better team here, and if Julio continues to get touchdowns, that could help the team a lot. So I think they get the win here. Then the Buccaneers at the Giants. Both teams are bad. The Giants got another win, so good for them. And the Buccaneers have Fitzpatrick. Now, they need to get him to throw touchdowns, and they'll win this game. And I feel like it's hard to have 400 yards and 0 touchdowns 2 times in a row. So I have a feeling that Fitzpatrick will help the Buccaneers win this game. Next, we have the Panthers at Lions. Panthers have been playing great lately, except for against Steelers, where they just completely fell apart. Their offensive line did a horrible job. And then the Lions are just bad. So I think the Panthers get the win here. The Eagles at the Saints. Now, like I said, the Eagles have been underperforming, and the Saints have been playing really well. So I don't think there's much to be said about this game. The Saints get the win here. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And as always, let's get 7 likes. Adios.